Born. I hurt my knee playing ball. And ever since then, about every 3-4 years, they got to go in there and work on it. But one of the things that happened since I moved here, 2018, however long ago that was, I kind of stopped going to have it worked on. I'm having a great time here, and I'm pretty busy, so I never went and got it looked at it again. And so you may remember, I started walking around with a cane because my knee hurt so bad. Well, I had my surgery last week, and I didn't want to do it. I don't like having them put me to sleep, and then they drill a couple holes in there, and they get in and do all kinds of stuff. And I didn't want to not be here. I knew I'd be away for a few days at least. But I was really glad I did. I can kind of walk normal now. It feels better every day. Yesterday was my first day without crutches or a cane. And at the end of the day, I put a big bag of ice on my knee to help with the swelling. And I say all this because when I read our readings today, I thought of something. I thought, gosh, I knew they could help my knee, but I didn't think far enough ahead. Yeah, I didn't think far enough ahead. I kept thinking about each day by day instead of thinking how nice it is when my knee doesn't hurt. Does that make sense to you? Oh, all right. Well, this is what Jesus and St. Paul are actually talking about in our readings. They're telling us that when you and I live our everyday life, there's all kinds of little things we can do to make that day a little better for us. But when we do that, we want to make sure we're thinking about not just that day, but the next day. So if I can help someone and they need help, but it would take away from my free time, right? If I say no, then I'm not going to help you. I'm going to think about me. I get a little reward. I get more time for me. But there's a longer term thing that's not good for us because we were made to help other people. That sometimes we'll be ready, mom, dad, or whatever will say it's time to go to church and we don't want to go. And we can have a short-term thing where we say, well, we don't go. And then when that happens, well, great, we get an extra hour to do what we want. But there's a long-term thing that's not good for us. We were made to worship God. So these are what the readings are trying to tell us today. Let's not give up a really long-term joy for a really temporary easy thing. That what Jesus wants from us is to be saints, nothing less. And the way that we become saints is first by worshiping God, and second by serving others, and third by doing everything we do conscious of that fact that I want to be with Jesus forever, not just here today, but forever. And the best way for me to do that is to make sure I never lose a long-term thing in pursuit of a short-term one. So today we're going to ask Jesus to help us in this Eucharist. And in hearing the word and in being together, that those three things give us strength to make sure all of our choices are the kinds of choices Jesus wants us to make. And sometimes it's going to mean that there's a little bit of a temporary inconvenience, but in the end, it's always a long-term joy. Amen?